top line had a very good game. Game 2, Timmins' top line had a very good game. Again, he's absolutely right. Your best players have to be your best players. And again, you cannot have any passengers right now for either team, or your season ends pretty quick.
And so we get ready for puck drop. We mentioned before this series started, one of the X factors was maybe going to be Frederick Cousineau in net for the Timmins Rock, and he's been solid through the first 2 games. He was really good in game 2, but 14 of his last 15 starts, he's been victorious, and what a acquisition, quote unquote, the Rock got right before the end of the season.
Well, again, he missed some time in the second half of the season due to injury, but coming back, and he has that pedigree as well as, he was in the Centennial Cup last year representing the Maritimes Junior Hockey League champion. So again, having that stability in net gives the players in front of him a lot more confidence as well.
Well, if we look back to the regular season matchups between these two teams, the Thunderbirds won the first matchup 3-1, and then the Rock won the next 3 matchups. One was a lopsided game, 9-2, and then the Rock 6-3 and 6-5 overtime winners. That 6-3 game included 2 empty net goals. So you wonder if that trend is going to continue. We had the one lopsided game 6-1, and I expect that tonight's going to be a lot tighter.
Well, again, it's the series now, again, as you get farther and farther along, the games just get tighter and tighter. Again, the magnitude is so much bigger as the series goes on, and the margin for error gets smaller and smaller.
Across the league, obviously, the playoffs are ongoing. Every first round matchup is going to be going on tonight, and we kind of talked that this was likely going to be the tightest series and the best series in the league, and that every other series had the potential to be a sweep. There's one shocker right now, though, and that is the Sioux Eagles up 2-0 over Powassan, coming back home tonight to what is likely going to be a very raucous Polar Stadium.
Well, again, the Eagles, again, they even though they finished in 7th, again, I thought they had the potential to go on a run and surprise the Voodoos twice in Powassan. Got the goaltending from Kenorley in both games, and again, very rarely does a team win if you have the second best goaltender in a series.
Absolutely, and the Timmins, the Powassan Voodoos, I should say, are on the ropes right now, and they're going to need to climb back in the series tonight. And speaking of on the ropes, the Greater Sudbury Cubs have Kirkland Lake hanging on for dear life right now. Kirkland Lake has showed well in this series, other than in Game 1, but they are down 3-0, and Sudbury an opportunity tonight to punch their ticket to the second round and be the first team to do so.
Well, they're a juggernaut, and they're going for a three-peat, and Kirkland Lake, valiant effort. Great crowd last night, over 1,000 people in Kirkland Lake, and for the gold miners in tough, and again, whatever cliche you want to use to get back in the series, they're going to have to use them tonight to see if they can get this series back to Sudbury.
Yeah, we'll keep you up to date on all of the out-of-town scores as we go along. Dom, my voice made it through the intro. We'll see if it makes it through 3 periods of hockey. We're about 5 minutes away from kicking this one off. It is the Rock and Thunderbirds. It's Game 3 here at the John Rhodes Community Center. We'll be back after the anthems, and we'll give you the starting lineup and netminders. It's NOJHL Playoff Hockey on flowhockey.com. Lucas Lowe, Max Hamlin, Caden MacArthur, your starting forwards for the Timmins Rock. Brady Bouchard and Ben Clement-Haga are your defensemen. For the Thunderbirds up front will be Drew Christian, Gavin Kaloran, and Adam Pisnichny. On defense, Declan Gallivan and Braden Gosselin.
In net for the Timmins Rock, Frederick Cousineau comes in with a record of 1-1, 2.38 goals against average, 926 save percentage for the Malartic, Quebec native. For the Thunderbirds, Nathan McGuire, 1-1, 4.28 goals against average, 904 save percentage for the Sault Ste. Marie native.
They say if you're losing your voice to drink room temperature water. I think my water is going to be ice cold in about 10 minutes with the temperature inside this arena. So let's hope that these two teams can heat things up as we get ready to drop the puck here on game number 3. Series tied at 1, and the Thunderbirds are going to win the opening faceoff as it's Gallivan playing it up to Drew Christian. Christian was credited with the winner in game 1, a fluky one, that's for sure, as he got a stick in the passing lane and somehow it found the back of the net as Hamlin is knocked down as he played the puck into the Thunderbird zone, and now skating out with it is Gosselin. Braden Gosselin up the ice. Pisnichny left his post, and now it's turned over by Timmins in the neutral zone off the stick of Kaloran, and Clement-Haga will have to go back after it. Lucas Lowe is checked as he was trying to escape the zone, and he has some words for Legler, who's going in on the forecheck. And Legler, Atkinson, and Devin Jones McDonald, as you mentioned, were great in game number 1. They got to get going again as a pass across for Jones McDonald didn't connect. MacArthur, who's been out there for a bit now, finally he's going to be able to peel off as icing is waved off. McGuire out to play it, and he'll leave it for Issy Parsa. Really good crowd in here tonight. And a strong contingent of Timmins fans have made the trip down. Landon Hill has it for the Thunderbirds, one of the members of the all-rookie team. Now Sear walks in. The defenseman heads around the net. Looks back to the point, finds his man. Shin was calling for it, didn't get it. And now Shin moves to the middle of the rink. Puck goes into the corner. Paradiso after it. Can't get there. Maxwell Shin blew a tire. And out comes Issy Parsa. Ahead for Landon Hill, got behind the defense. Hill after it in the corner. Tried to throw it in front. That was off the skate, and now an opportunity in transition here for the Rock. Caddick sends it across the ice. Good feed. An opportunity here for Timmins, but they can't get that puck in a scoring position, and the puck will end up back in the Timmins zone as Clement-Haga goes back to get it. Groff's pass for Bonvie was off his stick. Hugeson plays it behind the net. Mason calling for it in the middle of the rink. That pass was knocked away. Thunderbirds now tie that puck up along the boards. It comes free. Bonvie goes after it. Reese Bonvie having a look. They'll head back toward the corner, trying to fight through a check, and then he's knocked up against the boards by Ryan Armitage. Armitage still holding on to Bonvie. Thunderbirds wanted a penalty. They didn't get one. We're 3 minutes into this hockey game. Still waiting our first goal as Mason gets it to the middle of the rink. Armitage back to Mason, and that pass went through the blue paint, and back out come the Thunderbirds, and Wyatt Groff is going to try and beat the defenseman, and a good stick there by Kevion as he knocked it away from Groff, who got it back, spins and fires, and he rang that one off the post. Puck is picked up by Pisnichny. He's knocked down in front of the Timmins bench, and puck ends up and behind the goal, and a reverse hit there by Braden Sear as he knocked Kaloran down to the ice. And now Bodies getting banged up along the boards. Kaloran to Pisnichny, quick shot. Cousineau the save, rebound that stopped as well. Puck comes loose to Parsa, he lets one go, and that one missed the net. Mason has it behind his goal, and we're gonna finally get a whistle here with 16:05 to go in this first period, and your first opportunity to give your keys for the visitors.
for the Rock. Their power play's been on fire here in the first two games of this series. It's got to continue to be cooking here, and their defense as well. They've been contributing on the score sheet. That kind of production's going to be needed here in game 3.
Offensive zone face-off, so the Thunderbirds have their top line out there. Matched up against the fourth line of the Timmins Rock, so a favorable matchup. We'll see if the Thunderbirds can keep the Rock pinned deep, but it's a face-off win by Power, and the Rock will get it out, and the Rock will change. As Power went in on the forecheck, Atkinson, dangerous pass across the ice, nearly intercepted by Barriana. Pass for Jones McDonald, found Legler. Legler in behind the net. Crisscrosses with Atkinson. Back toward Atkinson, just out of his reach. Legler able to pick it back up. He's checked off the puck. Knocks his man down to the ice as Turnbull knocks it into the circle. Quick shot and a nice save there by Cousineau. Cousineau has been the busier of the two goaltenders here in the first 4.5 minutes as Atkinson is in after it. Knocked off his stick, trying to retrieve it, but Bouchard skates away. Liam Major up to the middle of the rink. Now Barriana overskated it. Landon Hill will go in on the attack all by himself. Takes the shot off a stick and wide. Major was looking right, and that puck went left, and nearly an opportunity there for Hill, who hits to the front of the net shot, and Bouchard got it stick in front of that one, deflected it out of play.
Oh, great defensive play there by Bouchard. This line here, again, they're being very effective on the forecheck. And Turnbull, great opportunity to Hill to give the Thunderbirds the opening goal here.
Owen Murphy wins the draw. Turnbull shot. Oh, that one ripped over top of the net. Another great chance for the Thunderbirds, who have dominated play here in the early going. They turn it over in their own end. Maybe a chance now for Timmins. Losing control of that puck was Max Hamlin. It comes back to Clement Haga to the net, tipped. Nice save there by McGuire as he kicked out the right leg. Gosselin knocks his man down. May have got away with one as the officials letting the play. Centering pass comes out in front. And finally cleared out by the Thunderbirds as Landon Hill will send it in. And Hugeson goes back to get it. Clement Haga to Hugeson. Bonvie chasing after it, can't get there. Pass across for MacArthur, read well by Parsa. He finds Groth, who gives it over to Arnold. Couldn't handle the pass as it was off his skate. Into the corner it goes. Bonvie will shovel it back behind the net. Chased down by Groth. Groth to the front of the goal, off a skate, picked up by Bonvie. Bonvie in the circle, now heads behind the net with it. It's Jaden and Arnold centering pass, nobody home, and out come the Rock. Led by Caden MacArthur. He was fantastic in game number 2, and Hamlin gets driven into the boards as he was knocked down to the ice by Parsa. Looks like Hamlin's going to be okay as Christian runs over his man. Sear went for the hit, but he got the worst of it. The physicality picks up here. Approaching 7 minutes of play in the first period. Another hit by Christian as that puck is dumped in and Cousineau comes out of his net to play it. Pisnishny was in on the forecheck. Cousineau went to Sear. A little touch pass to the middle of the ring. Turned over. Here's a chance for Kaloran. Doesn't shoot it. Wheels back into the circle. Had a man open in front, but the pass didn't get through. Now at the blue line, kept it. No, the linesman's going to see it differently. As the Rock clear, but only get as far as center. And then Shin knocked the pass down, and that allowed Timmins to dump it in as Brady Reel goes behind his net to play it. Up the boards, and there was a chance there for Jones McDonald to break out, but he misfired on the pass, and it's right back in by Timmins, who, to my count, have only registered 2 shots on goal so far in this game. Legler's pass across the ice, picked up by Jones McDonald. Draw for Atkinson, ripped just wide. And Paradiso gets it as far as center, and once again, Timmins just can't get the puck past the neutral zone unless they're dumping it in. A turnover and maybe a chance for Atkinson. No, it's taken away, and Gosselin has it. It's in his skates, and he's able to get it to Legler. And now the Thunderbird captain will move forward, and James Legler dumped it in. And then he's knocked down to the ice as he takes a hit from Brady Bouchard. Clement Haga pushed it ahead. Gallivan banked it off the boards, got it to Turnbull, and quickly out of their zone come the Thunderbirds once again. Murphy over the blue line. We'll just chip it into the corner and give chase. He's checked into the boards, but he stays on his feet, gets over across, and then Turnbull got it in front of the net. Gosselin kind of hesitated on the pinch, but he got away with it as the pass was out of the reach of Beard, and then Turnbull will chip it in as Kevion goes back to get it. Mason takes a heavy hit along the boards. That one thrown by Murphy. Parsa throws a hit himself. Mason gave Murphy a whack, and the official didn't see that or chose to ignore it, one or the other, as Issy Parsa heads down the ice. Quick shot. That one wide of the net as the Thunderbirds have missed the net a few times here in this opening period. Bondi across to Parsa. And the two defensemen can't clear the zone, but they get some help from their forwards, and down the ice it goes again as Groth will give chase. We are approaching the midway point of this first period, and we've only had a couple of whistles so far. Here come the Rock. Maybe a chance to get some offense going. One shot deflected into the corner by McGuire, and now up the boards to Bonvie, but out of his reach, and Clement Haga gives it back to his defense partner, and we're going to get an icing call here with 10:19 to go. I think that's only our second whistle or third whistle of this hockey game, and finally a chance for you to give your keys for the home side.
Well, for the Thunderbirds, controlled aggression. You want to ramp up the physical play, but don't cross the line and draw penalties as a result. And again, for the Thunderbird defense, clean exits out of the zone. Don't let the Timmins forecheck get going.
Right off the face-off, there was a funny hop off of Cousineau, who I think tried to play it into the corner, but it bounced straight up. The net became dislodged, which is no shock if you've tuned into a Sioux Thunderbird game over the last 15 years. Hopefully we don't have what happened against the Sioux Eagles, though. That was a little ridiculous.
A gong show?
Gong show is one way to put it, yeah. Face off one, chance for Pisnishny's shot. That missed low. My first time getting to see Frederick Cousineau, and I gotta say, he is a very positionally sound goaltender. And he does not waste energy. He's not flopping around out there. He looks really calm, cool, and collected in net. Pisnishny's dump in was knocked down. Thunderbirds are offside, so we'll get a whistle here. And our media timeout with 9:43 to go in the opening period. No score here in Game 3 between the Rock and the Thunderbirds.
Well, great pace to this hockey game. And Thunderbirds, again, majority of the play has been in the Timmins zone, but unable to hit the net on a few occasions there. You know, for the Thunderbirds, you got to bury your chances. You're not going to get a lot on Timmins. Greater Sudbury with a 1-0 lead over Kirkland Lake. No score in Sioux, Michigan between the Voodoos and the Eagles. And at 7:30, the Hearst Lumberjacks are in Espanola to take on the Paper Kings in Game 3 of that series.
Alexander Vlad, no relation, has the goal for the Greater Sudbury Cubs. Again, they have an opportunity to punch their ticket to the second round. The only team that can do that here tonight, but Hearst and the Sioux Eagles an opportunity to take strangleholds in their series. Atkinson across. Chased down by Jones McDonald. Nice move by Jones McDonald to the middle of the rink. Finds Gosselin streaking in, and that was stopped by Cousineau. Fantastic play there by Jones McDonald, and Cousineau makes a nice save.
Boy, he gets across the crease real quick there. Again, if you're going to do that for the Thunderbirds, you got to go back door on them like that. Get them out of position. Reads the play so well.
Gallivan will walk in. Poked off his stick as he gained the offensive zone. A little alley-oop as they're going to hope MacArthur can win the race, but Gosselin gets there first, and we got an offside. And after nearly 10 minutes with no whistles, we've got about 6 in the last minute.
You guys wonder how long it's going to take. Both teams here rolling 4 lines throughout the game. Who shortens their bench right away here and try to get the advantage.
Christian and Lowe on the face, or sorry, Kaloran and Lowe were on the face-off. It's flipped out to center. Vincent Bondi will send it in as Drew Christian will give chase, and he's checked by Braden Sear. Those two collided earlier. Now Christian skates away with it into the circle, knocked off his stick. Parsons got it through a crowd, stopped by Cousineau. And again, just in position on the top of the blue paint, and you feel like it's got to be a goal of traffic or a deflection for the Thunderbirds.
Greasy goals. Probably the point of the day here for the Thunderbirds.
Nathan McGuire, who was named to the first all-rookie team, is in net for the Thunderbirds tonight, and we really haven't had to talk about him yet. There's very few shots on goal by Timmins so far, and none have been grade A chances. Clemenhaga up for Paradiso, in behind him, and that will go for another icing as the pace of play has certainly come to a screeching halt.
Well, first 10 minutes and change, it was flying by. Now it's come to a crawl.
Timmins bench making some noise. You know, it's the playoffs when you look at the benches and no one is sitting down. Everybody is engaged right now, and it's great to see. There's nothing like playoff hockey. There's going to be a lot of it in the Sioux over the next week and a half, as the Sioux Greyhounds will start their series on the road, but they'll be back early next week, a week from tonight to be exact. Here comes Shin. And Maxwell Shin lost the handle. He had a couple of teammates with him. Puck ends up in behind the net. Paradiso trying to dig it free. He takes a little hit there from Atkinson. Now to the point. Long shot. Got through everybody. Legler trying to get behind the defense, but Jones McDonald fanned on his alley-oop attempt. Now Issy Parsa back behind his net. Turned it over, but he had some support, and the Thunderbirds are able to break it up. At the red line, dumped in as Legler will stay out there. Atkinson and Jones McDonald will change, and now Legler will likely head to the bench. And he does, as Mastroianni is knocked down to the ice. And now he's knocked into the bench in front of, or into the boards in front of the Timmins bench, I should say. Jaden Arnold with it for the Thunderbirds. Arnold just puts it into the corner, and he gives chase. The Rock will try and go in transition. Again, they only get as far as the red line, and it's on the stick of a Thunderbird player. A dangerous pass, but Sear will carry it in offside. Fortunate there for the Thunderbirds.
Boy, both teams here have been very fortunate that these passes up the middle haven't been intercepted. Got to be sure with your puck management here. Again, margin of error is so small. Again, with the two goaltenders we are seeing here tonight, again, they're not going to give up very many.
As mentioned, Alex Valad had the first goal of that Sudbury game, assisted by Dax Klinkhammer. Dax Klinkhammer has the second goal of the game, assisted by Alex Valad. and Breer Long, who has 7 assists already in the first 4 games of the playoffs. Here's a chance for Murphy walking in. Great save by Cousineau. As the Thunderbirds quickly work that up the ice. Gallivan to Hills. Gallivan goes to the net. Bouncing puck, and Cousineau will make that pickup look easy. Just ahead of MLB opening day. A few shortstops could probably take some pointers.
Well, again, an opportunity there for Thunderbird just on that 2-on-1. Again, Cousineau was playing shot all the way. Again, try to get it over. He had a wide open net.
If he would have passed and it didn't work, we probably would be saying, hey, take the shot when you get the shot. Comes back to the point. Gosselin through a crowd, and that one missed the net. I don't think Cousineau saw that. As Kaloran tried to dump it in. It looked like that might have hit somebody on the Timmins bench, but play continues. Spasnichny after it in the corner. Now centering pass in front, and Christian would have been all alone, but it was picked off by Lucas Lowe. Put back in, and in goes Christian after it. He takes a heavy hit along the boards, but he got it to Kaloran. Gavin Kaloran having a look. Into the corner for Pasnichny. Skating away is Lowe to the blue line. Here's a chance now, 2-on-1. MacArthur, but they're going to say Hamlin was offside, and now Hamlin and Christian mixing things up.
Again, these types of plays for the Thunderbird. Again, you cannot, after the whistle plays, you just don't want to be taking penalties here if you're the Thunderbirds, giving Timmins that opportunity on the power play. And again, there, Parsa, you got to be sure there. You can't be trying to play like that, putting yourself at an odd man disadvantage.
Atkinson and Lowe, the two top lines out there right now, as that puck is flipped into the Thunderbird zone, and Parsa went for the hit. MacArthur now ties it up along the boards, getting some help from Lucas Lowe, takes a dangerous hit, and a penalty coming up here as Aiden Atkinson is going to go to the box. And an easy call there for the official, as Aiden Atkinson, a little undisciplined with that hit, and the Timmins power play is going to get a chance to go to work.
Well, again, that danger zone, 2 feet from the boards. Again, you just can't be doing that if you're Atkinson. And now Timmins has an opportunity here on the power play to open the scoring.
Timmins going to keep it in as Hamlin. Cross it goes. MacArthur. Draw for Hamlin. Hamlin shot. Stopped by McGuire. Rebound was there, but they can't bury. Timmins power play was 3 for 5 in game 2. Hamlin back to the point. Sear across the ice he goes. MacArthur middle of the rink. One-timer shot by Hamlin. That one whistled wide of the net. Picked up by Sear on the far side. Down low, side of the net. Centering pass in front. Bouncing puck out of the blue paint. Not out of the zone, though. Shot. They score! Braden Sear makes it 1-0 as the captain comes through for Timmins.
You don't get a lot of opportunities to get the puck out there. Real missed it. And just a swipe, and it put right onto the stick. And again, that Timmins power play on fire. And again, the Thunderbirds clearing attempts. They've had 2 or 3 chances there to get the puck out. Couldn't do so. You have to get that puck down the ice. You cannot be soft.
Seven for 9 now in this series is the Timmins power play. Here comes Armitage. Armitage walking in. Stop, rebound, that's saved as well. Oh, and then a big hit after the play, and another penalty coming up to the Thunderbirds. makes it 7 for 9. They're 5 for 9 on the power play, but they're going to get a chance to maybe get it to a 60% success rate here as Gosselin's going to the box. And the power play goes right back to work.
Yeah. Referee.
Going to take the face off. He's got Sear on defense along with Hamlin. Arthur's out there, and so is Thomas Beer. Sear, he's got the goal. Over to Hamlin. The shot, that's blocked, and now the Thunderbirds get it down the ice. Beard ahead for Hamlin. Hamlin stops, throws it into the corner. Caddick will be on there first. Beard knocked down in front. Caddick gets it back to Hamlin. Over to Sear. Sear walks in, plays it to MacArthur. MacArthur shoots, deflected over top of the net. Hamlin will just poke it back into the corner. Ripped around the boards by Beard, kept in by MacArthur. MacArthur, top of the circle, into the circle, doesn't shoot, goes back to Sear with it. Over to Hamlin. Max Hamlin walks in, takes the shot. That one's blocked. Thunderbirds a chance to clear once again, and it gets all the way down the ice.
Oh, great job by Gallivan there, and a penalty coming up to Timmins. That'll negate the power play. But great job there by Gallivan again, getting the body in front, blocking the shot.
Tripping call against Evan Caddick. 6'2" forward from South Porcupine, Ontario. We'll head to the box. We'll get 4-on-4 hockey for 56 seconds. And then an abbreviated power play for the Thunderbirds. 3:06 to go here in the first period. 1-0 Timmins leading. Their captain, Braden Sear, got things going. Here comes Mason. Long shot wider than it. Ricochets around the board. Now a 3-on-1 potentially. Devin Jones-McDonald in over the blue line. Offside. And Atkinson can't believe it.
Wow, that's more Jones-McDonald. You see that going. You got to drive straight through the middle. You can't be going on an east-west route there. It's little things like that. They don't show up on a score sheet, but they add up as the series goes along.
Hugeson to Mason. Mason will skate away. Nolan Mason with a little bit of space. Now to the middle of the rink. Great feed. Now across to low it comes, but out of his reach. He'll take a hit in the corner from Parsa. And Vincent Bondi will move it forward. Bondi elects to skate it out and all the way down the ice. Bondi over the blue line, stops along the board, still with it. Now one behind the net, Bouchard knocked down to the ice from his knees, can't make the play. And then Jones-McDonald was checked. Low. Well, holding the stick call is going to be made here. I think Jones-McDonald is going to go to the box, maybe. Or is it Bouchard? It is Bouchard. They were both skating to the penalty box there. So,
well, great opportunity for the Thunderbirds. Minute 4 of 5-on-3. And the key right now, you got to win the draw if you're the Thunderbirds.
Jones-McDonald went to the bench, but he comes right back out. Atkinson on the face-off, and he's able to win it. Gallivan will go back to Legler, and now the extra man will come onto the ice. It's Landon Hill. Gallivan to Legler. Back over to Gallivan. Over to Legler. Side of the net, Atkinson. Atkinson being harassed there, and a nice play by Clement Haga. As it's kept in by Jones-McDonald. Gallivan will walk in. Atkinson, what time will they score? Aiden Atkinson on the 5-on-3 power play ties this game up at 1.
Well, again, you get Cousineau moving. And again, you get a great pass to Atkinson on the one-timer. And the Thunderbirds still have a minute 37 of power play time.
Sometimes on a 5-on-3, you see teams be a little bit passive as they kind of run the time down, but the Thunderbirds quickly got a shot on net, and it paid off for them.
Well, I think the sense of urgency right now, too. I mean, you're down a goal. I mean, Kuzno doesn't give up much. You got to take full advantage.
Hugesson, oh, it doesn't look good for Hugesson. Looked a little bit shaken up as he dumped that puck, and he stays out there, though. Here comes Pisnichny in around Hugesson. Pisnichny to the front of the net, got through everybody, and the net came off, which, again, is no shock. That it's only happened twice in the first period is maybe a bit of a win.
It could be, but still lots of game to go.
Yeah, I don't think that it makes the Thunderbird coaching staff happy that it tends to be on the end of the visiting goaltender where it happens the most. But the official's going to try and rectify the situation. .122 left to go in the Thunderbird power play. 1:34 to go here in the first period. 1-1 hockey game. We expected this one to be tight like the first one. So far, it's lived up to that billing. Face-off violation against the home side. Pisnichny out, Kaloran in. Won by Kaloran. Hill back to the point to Bondi. Bondi across the ice. Got it to Christian. Drew Christian walks in, doesn't shoot. Off the stick of Pisnichny. Pisnichny trying to cut in. And Timmins can't clear the zone. Kept in nicely. Now across to Hill. Hill backdoor feed. That didn't work because it was intercepted and cleared down the ice as it was read well by Ryan Armitage. Timmins a very aggressive penalty kill. They don't give you much time and space. You got to make quick decisions. Back to the point. That pass fortunate for the Thunderbirds that it connected, but Bondi passed it across the ice. There's nobody home. Bondi's got it again. This time he just carries it in. Oh, into the corner. Around the boards and down the ice is Timmins doing a real good job here on this penalty kill. Only 35 seconds left in the period and 20 seconds left in the power play. Top unit back out there, and it's Legler with it. Across the ice. Pass comes to Atkinson, who flips it into the corner. Chased down by Legler. Back behind the net for Jones-McDonald. Devin Jones-McDonald with under 20 seconds to go in the period. Picked up by Atkinson. Sharp angle shot. Kept out by Cousineau. Played down the ice. Penalties over. We're back to even strength. And there is 8 seconds left in the period. And Gallivan will just play it back. I think he just killed the time here, and they will. And, as we just mentioned, and like we expected, a tight one here through 20 minutes of play.
Great first period here. Again, both power plays very effective here. And again, for the Thunderbirds, they can't afford to have a parade to the penalty box.
There were all the Thunderbirds over to talk to McGuire. They're a little odd to see that after the end of a period, but both teams head off the ice. Special teams were special in the opening 20 minutes. 2 power play goals have us tied at 1. We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time to tee up period number 2. This is NOJHL Playoff Hockey on FullHockey.com. Welcome back inside the John Rhodes Community Center here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, as we get ready for the second period of play between the Sault Thunderbirds and the Timmins Rock. It is a 1-1 hockey game through 20 minutes here in Game 3 of this NOJHL quarterfinal series. This series is also tied 1-1. Anthony Vlad, Dominic Turco here with you. And the power plays were the story in that opening period. A bad penalty by Aiden Atkinson along the boards led to Timmins getting their first power play of the game, and it did not take long for them to capitalize.
Well, again, a couple opportunities for the Thunderbirds to get that puck out, couldn't do so, and they paid dearly for it as Braden Sear with a great shot, his second of the playoffs, past Nathan McGuire. The assist going to Thomas Beer, Max Hamelin at the 15:31 mark.
Thunderbirds were shorthanded once again after a penalty after the whistle by Braden Gosselin, but it was Evan Caddick who took the penalty to make a 4-on-4, and then a subsequent penalty by the Timmins Rock had them down to 3 men on the ice, and as it turned to a 5-on-3, Aiden Atkinson said, "Sorry about that penalty, guys, let me get that one back."
Great way to redeem himself as on the one-timer, and again, Cousineau just couldn't get there in time. A great shot by Atkinson, first of the playoffs. The only assist going to Devin Jones-McDonald at the 18:11 mark.
Shots were 11-5 in that first period in favor of the Thunderbirds, but it doesn't really tell the story as the Thunderbirds missed the net on a number of opportunities, and really they dominated that first period of play. Timmins did not get much going.
No, apart from the power play, really, Timmins didn't do a lot at all, and that's what the coaching staff of the Thunderbirds got to emphasize. Play them 5-on-5. You know, you're gonna have a much better chance as compared to being shorthanded, obviously. But for the Thunderbirds, again, you're not gonna get a lot of chances on Cousineau. You better bury him when you have the chance. You can't afford to miss the net on a repetitive basis.
Yeah, for a while there, probably seemed like Nathan McGuire wasn't even playing because we were only talking about Cousineau, given that the play was in the Timmins zone for the majority of that period. Update on the out-of-town scores, and the Sioux Eagles up 2-1 over Powassan, an opportunity to take a stranglehold on that series as they lead it 2-0. The Sudbury Cubs have a chance to wrap things up tonight, and they are up through 20 minutes of play by a score of 3-1. Breer Long has a goal and an assist, and in Espanola, the Paper Kings trying to get back in their series. They are tied 1-1 with the Hearst Lumberjacks. Congratulations to Matthew Como.
Yes.
JHL MVP of the Hearst Lumberjacks.
Yeah, the awards came out yesterday, and again, congratulations to all the winners. Very worthy recipients, and in our area, Richard Whitty, congratulations. I sent him a note last night, and again, broadcaster of the year, congratulations.
Matthew Como was the winner of the NOJHL MVP. Best defenseman went to Spencer Horgan. Rookie of the year, Owen Smith. No surprise there. Most improved went to Ty McKay. The top defensive forward went to Justin Russo of the Powassan Voodoos. The best overall team player to Mason Walker of the Greater Sudbury Cubs. The most gentlemanly player went to Ryan Saginaw of the Powassan Voodoos. And the coach of the year went to Peter Goulet of the Powassan Voodoos as well. Nathan McGuire was named a second-team All-Star from the Thunderbirds. Devin Jones-McDonald named a third-team All-Star. And then the first All-Rookie team, Nathan McGuire was also named a goaltender. Gavin Kolorin was on the first All-Rookie team. Landon Hill and Adam Pisnichny made the second All-Rookie team. Like you said, congratulations to all the award winners. The teams are out. We're ready for period number 2. We'll see if Timmins can get their legs going in this period. A lot of neutral zone turnovers in that first period, and that's how this one starts. Christian Took a high hit from Bouchard, and I think Bouchard knew it because he looked back to the official immediately, but no call was made. A turnover, and here's MacArthur, not the player you want to turn it over to. Puts it in behind the net, and a good defensive play, though, by the Thunderbirds to negate that scoring chance as Kaloran gets sandwiched between Bouchard and Hamlin. Off the boards it comes, and Gallivan at center ice will bank it off the boards, and Gallivan, or Kaloran, I should say, will play it in deep as Clement Haga takes a hit from Christian, and Drew Christian has picked up his physicality, and he laid another one in behind the play. Lucas Lowen on the attack, backhand shot, put that one over top of the crossbar. Now the top line for the Thunderbirds comes out, but it's Vincent Bondi, the defenseman, throwing it in for Legler, chance at the side of the net. It trickled through the blue paint. Bondi's got it. MacArthur and Hamlin have been out there for over a minute now. Comes free to Jones McDonald, centering pass for Legler, miss. Puck got caught up in the water on the ice. It was a fortunate break for the Thunderbirds as Legler along the boards, trying to work it free. Jones McDonald across the ice, out of the reach of Reel, who skates it down. Reel's fanned on his pass. It's a breakaway going the other way. Caden MacArthur in all alone. Stopped by McGuire. Great save there to bail out his defenseman, as the Thunderbird netminder makes his best save of the night. Here's Parsa trying to settle things down after that opportunity. In comes Owen Murphy, poked away from him. Off the bench and racing after it was Gianmarco Mastroianni, as Murphy will send it in deep, and Turnbull will go after it, and he decides to put a body on Sear as those two battle for it. The puck came free to Landon Hill. But the Rock now in possession will go up the middle of the ring. Maxwell Shin. Maxfeld Shin. Rock turn it over. And now Mastroianni after a three. Thunderbirds on the attack, in front, they score! It took a deflection and got past Cousineau. I think it's going to be Owen Murphy that gets credit for that one. It's a 2-1 Thunderbird lead.
Well, get your stick on the ice, and there Murphy, great play by Mastroianni, jumping in, reading the play there, and again for the Thunderbirds, get that greasy goal past Cousineau, and they get the lead.
Gosselin ahead for Groff. Clement Haga back after it. Kept in by Gosselin, long shot. Was not on goal. Flipped out. Hit along the boards as Arnold and Beard go down. Here comes Mason, trying to make something happen for Timmins. He lost his stick, and now he's checked in front of the Timmins bench, down to the ice. Bondi trying to shovel it out, doesn't get out. And Bondi now forced back behind his own net. Bondi being harassed there by Beard. Up the boards, not out. Kept in by Clement Haga. His shot knocked down. Cleared by the Thunderbirds. Here comes Armitage. Got some help. Back across the Beard shot. Stopped by McGuire, and he looked behind him as he squeezed his arm. And luckily, that did not squeak through because there was a Timmins player on the doorstep.
That was a bad line change by the Thunderbirds. Timmins had an on-man rush as a result. And McGuire did everything he could to hold that puck from trickling past him. You got to watch in the second period the long change here for both teams.
Mastroianni will get it to Pisnichny, and Adam Pisnichny will carry it in. Pisnichny goes wide, now heads in behind the net, having a look out in front. Pisnichny still with it. Pisnichny along the blue line. Pisnichny walked in, poked off the stick, and maybe a chance in transition here for Timmins. Just out of the reach of Etheridge, who negated the icing. Haven't called Etheridge's name much here in this hockey game. As to your point earlier in this game, it seemed like Timmins was the one to shorten the bench quicker as Barriana will walk in. Barriana waiting for some help. Barriana puts it in front. Chance McGuire keeps that one out. And now it comes right through the blue paint. McGuire had to be careful. He lost his stick. It's caught in the net. As two Timmins players go down to the ice. Bouchard up the boards for Hamlin. Here's Legler. James Legler, the Thunderbird captain, walking in, takes a shot, kicked out, big rebound. But Atkinson was heading to the net, and the puck ended up just behind him, out of his reach. Top lines matched up against one another right now as MacArthur, who was denied on a breakaway earlier in this period. And Thunderbirds may have got away with the slash as MacArthur had the stick knocked out of his hands. Here comes Devin Jones-McDonald. Finds Legler. Legler's got Atkinson streaking to the net. The pass was off his stick and just trickled into Cousineau. And he'll cover it up with 14:45 to go here in the
penalty
second.
coming up. Jones-McDonald getting a slash.
Another bit of an undisciplined penalty there by the Thunderbirds. Mentioned this Timmins power play, 5 for 9 in this series so far. High stick on Gallivan, didn't get called. Hamlin across the ice, quick shot by MacArthur, didn't miss by much. Sear over to MacArthur. MacArthur to Hamlin. Waited a little too long as Gallivan got over to get in the way of that. Gallivan's still hurt right now. He is in a lot of discomfort. MacArthur had a poke off his stick. Comes right to Sear. Back to MacArthur. MacArthur to the net. Kicked out by McGuire. Rebound played back to MacArthur. MacArthur as Gallivan still in a lot of pain. Now Sear the shot, and McGuire can't keep possession as he kicked it into the corner, but Gallivan can't get off. Hamlin over to MacArthur. MacArthur having a look, waits. Now across the ice, Hamlin was ready for a one-timer, but that pass was not in the right spot for him. Hamlin will drop for MacArthur. MacArthur will skate it into the circle. He'll head into the corner now, whip it around the boards, and Hamlin there, but it hopped over his stick and out to center, and only Jaden Arnold will be able to change for the Thunderbirds as Hamlin walks in. Hamlin into the corner, taken away by Gallivan, but he can't get it out. Second effort, hopped over to the stick of Sear, but again, the Thunderbirds can't change. Turnbull's gonna try and get off, and he does as Paradiso carries it in over the blue line. 35 seconds to go in the power play. Here's a chance in front. Great save, McGuire, as he comes across to Rob Mason.
Wow, great glove there by McGuire. Thunderbirds very fortunate. There's Turnbull on fumes trying to get off. And it was a 5-on-3 that developed as a result.
32 seconds to go in the power play. Face-off won by Timmins. Trying to build a little momentum here with a good power play. They've had a couple of chances, but that was cleared out by Kaloran, who's going to chase down Bouchard. And those two battle for the loose puck. And penalty coming up here to Timmins, I think. It's going to be Bouchard. A few times here, it's been a situation where penalty could go either way, and Bouchard can't believe it. He is letting the referee hear it right now. He's got to be careful, as Bouchard's going to go to the box, and Thunderbirds will have a power play in just 17 seconds.
Well, Thunderbirds hanging on there, and a great job by Kaloran there on the penalty kill. You know, all around, all over Bouchard, and caused a turnover, and then drew the penalty.
Hugeson behind his net. Comes out in front to the blue line, just out as Bondi had started to retreat and he couldn't keep it in. And the power play will get a chance to go to work as Devin Jones-McDonald comes out of the box. Legler gathers speed. In over the blue line. Legler trying to cut in. Ends up in the corner. He's checked there by Clement Haga. Jones-McDonald's pass was knocked down, but right back to him. Now Clemenhaga throws a hit on Jones McDonald. Those two go down to the ice. Play continues in the corner. Dug free and put back to the point. Parsa. Atkinson back to Parsa. Jesse Parsa over to Atkinson, who's got one of the Thunderbird goals. Now in behind the net, Owen Murphy. Back along the boards. It comes out in front. Chance to clear, and down the ice it goes. As that took an unfortunate bounce for the Thunderbirds, and McGuire comes out of his net to play it ahead. Got it to Legler, and Atkinson carries it in across the ice for Murphy. Couldn't handle the pass, and he'll put it back toward the corner. Picked up by Atkinson. Across he goes to Legler. Legler in front. Jones McDonald was all alone, but he couldn't get the shot on net. Murphy played it into the corner. Nobody home, and Beard all the time in the world to clear it down the ice. As Caddick goes after it, Atkinson will get there first. Half a minute to go in the power play. Out left feed, out of the reach of Atkinson. Pisnichny couldn't get on side, and the faceoff come all the way down in the Thunderbird zone as Pisnichny and Beard do a little jousting.
Again, the Thunderbirds couldn't really get established in the Timmins zone, trying to get that shot to get the lead to 3-1.
One too many men on the ice for the Thunderbirds. And so Vincent Bondi will head off. 27 seconds to go, as mentioned, in the power play. 11:27 to go now in the second period of play. Thunderbirds leading by a score of 2-1, hoping to take a 2-1 series lead with a victory here tonight. Game 4 tomorrow. Right back at it, right here at the John Rhodes Community Center. My gut is telling me it's not going to be any warmer in here tomorrow.
No, you could probably put a mortgage payment on that. But there's still lots of game to go here in game 3.
Christian and Beard were getting into it. Thomas Beard trying to get under the skin of the Thunderbirds. Great feed. Kaloran scores! Pop the bottle and makes it a 3-1 hockey game.
Well, the power play strikes again, and that was a great shot by Kaloran. And again, high on Cousineau. Thunderbirds extend their lead to 3-1.
That's one Cousineau probably wants to have back. Great shot by Kaloran, don't get me wrong, but those are the ones where you probably want to try and make that save for your team and feel like you have a good chance to do so. Hamlin trying to answer right back as he's tied up and can't get the shot off, but he threw it in front. And that nearly connected. Tipped on the way to the net, and that goes just wide. Good shift here by the Rock as they're all over the Thunderbirds, and McGuire has seen enough as he corrals that puck and gets it covered up.
Good response shift here by the Rock. Again, down 2 here. Got to get something going. They really haven't done much apart from their power play here. 5-on-5, they've been very quiet.
Brendan Perry has never been one to mince words, and if this continues for this game, I'll be interested to see his comments after it. As 5-on-5, Timmins has not generated much at all against the Thunderbirds. Clemenhaga from the point as he gets a shot through. I was going to say on cue they were probably going to score there. Tied up along the boards. Legler got it to Atkinson, turned it over. Here's a chance. Oh, he got bailed out by Devin Jones McDonald, and Legler goes down the ice with it. Knocked away by Bouchard, and Clemenhaga will play it around the boards, and MacArthur is checked, and Lucas Lowe will get it back to MacArthur. Midway point of this hockey game. 3-1 Thunderbirds leading. Chip down the ice and giving chase is Groth. There's going to be no icing as Clemenhaga back to get it. Lucas Lowe to Hamlin. Hamlin checked by Bondi. Stopped in his tracks. He kept going forward, but the puck didn't move. It's Clemenhaga at center. His pass was knocked down, and here goes Groff the other way. Wyatt Groff takes the shot off a leg and just wide. As Bonvie tried to lay a hit, and back comes Arnold. Arnold's shot was off the leg, and seen Arnold out there with Bonvie and Groff that I haven't seen Landon Hill for a bit. He's usually out there with Groff. As the play goes down into the Thunderbird zone, and a quick shot from a sharp angle, and McGuire had to be careful with that as we are under 9 minutes to play now in this second period. Bariana was the first one on it, in behind the net. Power back for Bariana. Etheridge was looking for it, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Thunderbirds back out at center. Chipped in as Kevion. Can't get it. Thunderbirds in possession. Oh, there's Landon Hill right there. Brady Reel shot. There was a crowd in front, and it hit Turnbull. That's Bariana's pass. He had Etheridge behind the defense, but he couldn't settle that puck as Reel and Etheridge go into the boards. Murphy over to help out. Power there. Mastroianni there. Timmins has it. Timmins player taken down. Play will continue. It's under the Timmins player, so we'll get a whistle. 8:06 to go here in the second. We're going to get immediate timeout as the Thunderbirds have a 3-1 lead.
Well, for the Thunderbirds here, again, opportunistic scoring, and again, depth scoring. Again, Owen Murphy, Gavin Kaloran contributing for the Thunderbirds here. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, Powassan has tied it up. Owen had the only goal in that second period against these two Eagles. 2-2 hockey game over at Puller Arena. 3-1 in the second period. Greater Sudbury over Kirkland Lake. Again, Greater Sudbury trying to wrap things up, and second period just about to start in Espanola, and it is still 1-1 between the Paper Kings and Lumberjacks.
Well, lots of games still to go here. Timmins got some firepower. Thunderbirds cannot rest here. They got to keep pushing here and build on their lead.
Seen a bit more of the fourth line here in the second period than we did in the first period for Timmins. Right now it's Paddock Field. Paddock, Maxfeld, Shen, and Paradiso out there. Brady Reel fights through a check. Finds Christian. Christian, sharp angle shot. Wide of the net and ricochets all the way back out to center ice. Mastroianni, a little spinorama pass, but it went right to the stick of Clement Haga, who did the reverse check on Pisnichny as the puck is dumped in. Paradiso on the far boards. Tied up immediately by Mastroianni. Puck is dug free by Timmins. Clement Haga across to Hugeson. Hugeson's shot. Nice block there by Christian. And Christian will just carry it out himself. Nice feathered pass to Killer, and there's a chance maybe for Caddick as he put it through the legs of Bondi. And then he hooked up Parsa, who ended up going into the boards awkwardly. And Parsa's hurt as he's slow to get up. And the Thunderbird bench is not happy right now. As Parsa got hooked and went to the boards awkwardly, which resulted in him getting a little bit shaken up. Back on his feet, though, and he throws a hit, and he gave a shot to the Timmins player, and Paradiso went down to the ice. And Parsa now is going to vent his frustration to the official, but it's Parsa going to the box.
Again, just you can't give Timmins any opportunity here. Try to get back on this in this game on there with their power play. Again, you got to turn the other cheek if you're Parsa.
Yeah, I think for the Thunderbirds right now, the problem with these penalties is that they've all been very undisciplined penalties. They're not what you would call, quote unquote, a good penalty to take. And you're playing with fire.
You can say that about the Timmins power or penalties as
yeah,
well.
Absolutely, but this, with how potent this power play's been, You're playing with a little bit of fire. Here comes Hamlin walking in. Got a crowd stopped by McGuire. McGuire held his ground as the crowd formed in front. Good job, though, by Hamlin waiting for that crowd to form.
Well, again, yeah, it's the Rock there again, winning the draw, setting it up, and Hamlin again. He can shoot it.
Off the face-off, they scrum along the boards, and it's Turnbull that will get it the length of the ice. Well, after that early failed clearing attempt by Real, you wonder if the coaching staff gave the same message you did, that you got to be hard on the puck when you're trying to clear it, because the Thunderbirds have been a lot better. Approaching 6 minutes remaining here in the second period. Thunderbirds with a 3-1 lead. Timmins on the power play. And they've got possession. It comes across to Hamlin. Hamlin's shot was blocked. Got it right back to the point to Sear, the goal scorer. His shot was blocked as Arnold got in the way of that one. Lucas low behind the net. Glove down by Real, but picked up by Beard. Now Real will try to skate it free. He's got it tied up. Two Timmins players trying to dig at it.
Great job by Real.
Now comes back to Sear at the point. Sear waiting, looking. Gives it off to Hamlin. Hamlin in front, one-timer, and Beard missed it. And now down the ice it goes as Real clears the zone, and Real now going to get a chance to go off as MacArthur skated it behind his own net. But he's got speed through center. Plays it over to Mason. Mason will go around the boards, and it's Caddick to MacArthur. Comes back to Mason, who fell down to the ice, and that allows Kaloran to clear the zone. MacArthur's got it, but he doesn't have an entry point, so he wheels back to center. Hamlin, they're going to say they stayed on side. Looked like MacArthur was a little ahead of it. Thunderbirds, though, a great penalty kill as we're back to even strength. Shot off a stick and way wide of the net. Timmins keep it in the offensive zone. Mason to the net. That was kicked out. Then behind the goal, Barriana to the point. Bouchard, his shot was blocked, and now Christian off to the races. Cousineau out of his net will just rip it off the boards and down the ice. Doesn't have enough for icing as Mastroianni back to get it. He fell. Great chance now for Timmins. Mason in front and a good stick there as Gosselin broke up that scoring opportunity. Out come the Thunderbirds. Pisnishny over the blue line. Across Atkinson. Oh, put it just wide of the net. Chances at both ends of the ice go awry. Along the boards, Pisnishny takes a hit. Jones McDonald picks it up into the circle shot. Off a stick, stays in play. Everybody was looking up to the netting behind the net. It allowed Timmins to clear it out of the zone. Now a misfire on the pass, and Bouchard will bank it off the glass and down the ice. Parsa can't get it out. Barriana in behind the net. He was looking for Ryan Power. That didn't work out, and then the pass for Jones McDonald didn't work out either. Barriana had it taken away by Atkinson. Parsa, got to be careful. He's tripped up, and a penalty coming up here as Ryan Power is going to head to the box. And the Thunderbird power play going back to work. They've already got two.
Wow, coming into game 3, you wouldn't think the Thunderbird power play would be so potent, but again, opportunity to get a third one here and really put Timmins in a bind.
Number 1 unit's got to get a bit of a rest. It's the second unit who scored the second power play goal who are out there. Puck comes free. Christian has his stick tied up by a Timmins player. Couldn't get to it. Finally, he's able to get it free as the puck was all the way down in the Thunderbird zone, and Landon Hill will bank it off the boards to Bondi. Under 3 to go here in the second period. 3-1, Thunderbirds leading. Looking for more. Landon Hill skates around a check. Heads in behind the net. Got tied up with the official. Got it back, but he plays it into Christian. Good heads-up play by Bondi to direct Hill to play that puck back and not give it to him. Now it comes back to Bondi. He's able to keep it in at the blue line, goes across the ice. Landon Hill will just chip it into the corner. Right back to Hill it comes. Back to Kaloran, quickly to Bondi. He's able to knock it down, throws it on net. That shot was blocked. Bondi got it over to Hill, side of the net, Kaloran. Christian was open at the side of the goal, backdoor feed out of his reach. Christian took a hit and lost possession of the puck, so goes down the ice.
The puck movement's got to be quicker if you're the Thunderbirds. Try to get Timmins out of position.
Under 2 to play here in the second period. Cross ice feed. Skated onto by Legler. Legler heads in behind the net. James Legler, the captain, with it. Out at the blue line. Walks in, top of the slot shot. And Cousineau lost his stick as that puck is sent all the way down the ice. And Cousineau's got the lumber back. Look out. Oh, Gallivan had to be careful as nearly a turnover behind the Thunderbird net. Under 90 seconds to go. 7 seconds left in the power play. And now maybe Brady Rio will try and slow things down. Oh no, give it to Legler. They'll come back in on the attack. Cross ice feed for Atkinson. Takes the shot and Cousineau makes the save to keep this game 3-1.
Penalty just expired there. Again, Thunderbirds get that cross seam pass and good shot, but Cousineau made the save.
Snitchney in on the draw against MacArthur. And now Kaloran will take it. Up and out of play goes. Face-off won by Timmins, nearly controlled by the Thunderbirds, but the Rock got back in possession. They'll come up the boards, and here goes MacArthur with it. MacArthur in over the blue line. MacArthur still with it. Shot and a blocker saved by McGuire. MacArthur trying to fight through a check. He's met by a couple of Thunderbirds. It comes free, and Pisnichny will skate it out of the zone. Adam Pisnichny will throw it into the corner, and it bounced in on Cousineau. He elected to just hold on to that with 41.6 to go here in period 2.
Well, again, right now, Thunderbirds trying to get that, win the draw, try to get something set up here. Get a late goal here. Really, again, put Timmins in a bind, down 3 going into the third.
Arnold in on the face-off. Wins that one cleanly. Roth was tangled up. Shot for the point, got through. Didn't miss the net by much. Now Maxfeld Shin will send it up the boards. Glove down though by Bondi. Bondi at the red line will throw it across the ice. Etheridge intercepted that. And Timmins will send it into the Thunderbird zone. Home side can't clear it. Etheridge. As the lines get mixed up a little bit here. He's out there with Shin and Armitage. So 3 players that are typically all on different lines as the buzzer will sound and will come to the end of the second period. And Coach Perry may be putting the lines in the blender to try and get something going, as 5-on-5 Timmins has not generated much at all in this hockey game, and the Thunderbirds have a 3-1 lead through 40 minutes of play.
Well, again, for the Rock, really, again, this whole series has been their power play, how dynamic it's been. But so far tonight, just 1 goal. And again, 5-on-5, they got to be a lot better here.
Thunderbirds getting a round of applause as they lead the ice. It's been a really good hockey game by the home side. I don't know that there'll be too much to gripe about by the coaching staff. There's been a few things that they can clean up, but the discipline being one of them. But overall, again, 5-on-5, just a dominant effort, and then the power play has been going as well.
Well, for the Thunderbirds here, 20 minutes away, from getting a 2-1 series lead. Still lots of work to do.
Thunderbirds were nearly unbeatable when they had the lead through 40 minutes of play. Only one loss this year. When leading through 40, let's see if that trend continues here this evening. We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time to tee up the third period. It's 3-1 Thunderbirds through 40 minutes of play. This is NOJHL Playoff Hockey on FlowHockey.com. Ontario, as we get ready for period number 3 between the Timmins Rock and the Sioux Thunderbirds. It's game 3 of the NOJHL quarterfinal series. The series is tied at 1. The Thunderbirds are leading this game by a score of 3-1 through 40 minutes. Anthony Vlad, Dominic Turco here with you, and it's just been a really, really good hockey game by the Thunderbirds so far.
Very solid performance after 40 minutes. Special teams have come to play here on the power play, and 5-on-5 they've been very good.
Yeah, 5-on-5 they've been good. And they gave up that first power play goal, but the last power play that Timmins had, a lot of block shots, everybody kind of sacrificing the body, playing for the team and not just themselves. And for Timmins right now, they're behind the 8 ball a little bit, and they need to figure out a way to break through here on even strength.
Well, you got to get the forecheck going here. It's the Thunderbirds done a real nice job winning those one-on-one battles, getting the puck out real quick. And for the Timmins Rock, you got to sustain the pressure, put the Thunderbird defense on their heels.
Well, one thing we talked about before we came on the air today was how big of a difference is Declan Gallivan going to make? He's one player, but when you got a defenseman the talent of Declan Gallivan, when he's not in your lineup, he's a minute eater. He's going to be out there 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in a game. And that means that somebody else is playing that's just not quite at his level. And it can have an impact on your team. I'm not saying that that's the reason why they lost 6-1 in game 2, but without Declan Gallivan, there was obviously a noticeable difference in the game of the Thunderbirds. And today, defensively, they've been fantastic.
Well, you're playing in rules you're not comfortable and used to. And you got to make up the minutes somehow. And, kind of like a coach in basketball, you try to do some substitution, trying to, get, offense for defense kind of thing.
Unless your name is Jerry McNamara, and then you just play 5 guys for the entire game.
Well, how'd that work out?
Well, as a Duke fan, I wasn't feeling very comfortable.
Well,
but yes, I get the point you're making.
But again, right now, Gallivan, the shots he was blocking, again, he was hurt there and stayed out there. And again, just, a tower of strength for the Thunderbirds.
Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard, then we'll recap the scoring in the second period. Greater Sudbury comfortably in front right now by a score of 6-2. Looks like they are going to wrap up their series, barring a miracle comeback by the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. Hearst is now up by a score of 2-1 over the Espanola Paper Kings. Nathan Sheed has given them the lead in that game. And just about to start the third period, Powassan and the Sioux Eagles are tied at 2 as Owen had the only goal in the second period of that game for the Voodoos.
The Thunderbirds, 2 goals in the second period. Owen Murphy, again, just driving the net, get the stick down, get the puck past Cousineau. His first of the playoffs, the assist going to John Marco Mastriani. Made a great play to get the odd man rush going, and then Landon Hill, his second of the assist of the playoffs at the 2:36 mark. And then on the power play, Gavin Kaloran, great wrist shot, beating Frederick Cousineau. The assist going to Adam Piznichny and Braden Gosselin at the 8:53 mark.
Just going back to that Powassan and Sioux Eagles game, looking at the box score right now, and Powassan down 2-0 in the series, and one of their better players, Benjamin Kupal, received a double minor for attempt to injure or deliberate injury. And you wonder if that's going to bring a suspension for Kupal. We haven't seen it, obviously, but it's when you see something like that in the box score, it's usually not a sign of something that doesn't carry a suspension with it.
Yeah. Well, there are people way above our heads that'll make that call in that series. So, a big game for Powassan, down 2-0 on the road. A very raucous environment across the river at the Polar Stadium. And, they've got their hands full with the Eagles.
It's been a couple of years since I've been over there, but if you're listening and you get a chance to go to an NOJHL game, I assume they still have the Polar Burgers there, and those are a treat.
They got Culvers now.
They do have Culvers. That's going to be a problem for us come summertime and maybe a couple of golf trips. Love me some Culvers, that's for sure. As the teams come back out onto the ice. And we'll see how Timmins starts this period. You wonder if maybe some frustration is starting to seep in, though.
Well, again, for the Rock right now, just the got to get that next goal. It's vital to get back into this hockey game.
Yeah. They, according to the shots, they outshot the Thunderbirds in that period, but the majority of those came with the man advantage. Here are the Thunderbirds. Stay out of the penalty box in this period. I'm sure that was a message. Like, this has been a very potent power play through the first 2 games and 2 periods. You don't want to keep giving them chances. We have a bit of a delay, not 100% certain why. Officials are out there, teams are out there. I have no idea what we were waiting for, but whatever it was, it's happened, and now we're back underway. And right off the face-off, a long shot by Christian. Went just wide of the net. Bouchard. Back in behind his goal. Clement Haga turned it over. Comes out in front and a good stick by Lowe. Took away a scoring chance for Kaloran. Bouchard, dangerous pass. Got through, and now MacArthur up ahead. Hamlin skates free. Max Hamlin and centering pass across. And that didn't connect, or that could have been a game-changing moment. As
That was a great play by Christian.
Yeah, Christian has played a great 200-foot game in this one.
Oh.
Arsa turns it over in front. Great chance for Lowe. Poked away before he can get a shot on net, and hand pass will be called.
That was the right call there. But Parsa, again, you got to get that puck out of there. You can't be fooling around with it.
I think in his defense, I got caught up in some water, though.
But again, yeah, you got to get that puck out of there right now. You know Timmins is hunting for it, trying to get back in this game.
I'm a little surprised that, we've seen this the last couple games, that the Thunderbirds don't kind of do more of a skate around when they come out of the intermission break. But I don't know if there's rules around that, maybe. All right, up the middle, and that pass missed everybody. An icing call. Shin had some words with Kevion, trying to get on the same page. Parsa, who was shaken up in that second period, just headed to the locker room. So he had one shift here in the third and goes to the locker room, and it looks like the Thunderbirds are going to be down to 5 defensemen. As Kadek doesn't touch it, so there is no offside, as it was a delayed offside against Timmins. Legler will move it ahead. Chipped in by Atkinson, and Legler gives chase. Here goes Shin. Maxfeld Shin offside, as Kadek was a step ahead of the play, and I think Paradiso might have been offside as well.
Well, again, it's just, you can't be going east-west here, trying on these odd man rushes, and you put your teammates offside as a result. Thunderbirds did that earlier in the game with a 3-on-1 with Jones McDonald.
Armitage, Mason, and Beard step on the ice, and Beard was offside, so we'll have Timmins tag up again, and that will give Gosselin a chance to clear the zone. Up ahead for Turnbull. Clement Haga having some problems with it. Murphy was all over him. Turnbull now creates a turnover right to Landon Hill. Hill throws it to the goal. Knocked down by Cousineau. Hill back in behind the net with it. Cousineau's down. He's trying to get back to his feet, and he does. A pass to the point. Kept in nicely there by Reel. And played along the boards as Landon Hill will jump up. Hill cuts to the net. Shot stopped by Cousineau. Turnbull back to the point. Gosselin right back to Turnbull. Into the corner for Landon Hill. Had his pocket picked. Out comes Mason. Chipped up the boards and Beard gives chase, but it will go for icing. And the Rock will be unable to change.
Unfortunate there for Timmins because Thunderbird fourth line was out there for a little while and get him to defend. Can't do so now.
So it seems as though Bonvie and Hill have changed places, as this has been a consistent line of Bonvie, Arnold, and Groff. Oh, a big hit on Arnold as Clement Haga ran into him. And we had the dairy line for a couple games. We just have to remember the times we had together.
We'll always have the game against the Eagles.
Yeah, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Here goes Arnold, and he can't get to it. Etheridge will give chase, and we're going to get another icing call against the Rock.
Hard to get your forecheck established. You keep icing the puck.
I think for the Thunderbirds, they're probably thinking, okay, sure, go ahead. We'll keep taking faceoffs 200 feet from our own net. You made the point, though, earlier. A lot of firepower in this Timmins lineup as Gosselin got a shot through. And it can be quick strike for the Rock. Gosselin will put it into the corner. And now up the middle, Sears' pass was knocked down. Power couldn't get to it. Shin follows up. Shin trying to walk in, got it to Etheridge. Quick shot, rebound was there. And a penalty coming up to the Thunderbirds as Power was taken down away from the play, and Mastriani will go to the box, and already a defenseman down. Another one will head and serve 2 minutes or less.
Well, that one you consider a good penalty again, as scoring chance was negated there for the Timmins Rock. But again, just playing with fire, giving Timmins these opportunities on the power play.
Face off one and comes back to the point. Here's a chance now for Hamlin. Gives it back to Sear. Now a shot, and that was blocked in front, and it will be cleared out to center ice. Braden Sear ahead for Caddick. Sear, Hamlin. Backdoor feed for MacArthur. That didn't connect. Back it comes to Sear. Sear having a look, gives it to MacArthur. Caden MacArthur, the leading scorer during the regular season for the Timmins Rock. He'll give it to Hamlin. Hamlin back to MacArthur. Can't shoot. Thunderbirds doing a good job getting in the shooting lanes. MacArthur trying to find space. Into the circle. Throws it in from McGuire down. And somehow that one stays out as Timmins was poking and prodding. But they can't get it past the Thunderbird netminder.
Oh, good job by McGuire there. Two Timmins players looking for that rebound. Holding it there, not giving up the rebound.
Something we don't get often is a request to give a shout out, but we did get one tonight. So give a little hello to Frank Samard, a longtime billet for the Sioux Thunderbirds, who is watching at home tonight. Hopefully he's enjoying the broadcast. As that puck is cleared down the ice. And the Thunderbirds have killed a minute off the penalty. Oh, Arnold took a whack there that didn't get called, and he was a little shaken up as Shin will bring it into the offensive zone. Back to Mason he goes. Mason across to Bouchard. Bouchard shot blocked by Gallivan. It comes back to Bouchard, but over his stick, and Arnold's going to head off the ice.
How many times?
Giving chase.
How many times have you said blocked by Gallivan tonight?
Put that on a t-shirt. There goes Mason as Christian taken down, and there was a solid argument for interference, but it didn't get called as Real ties his man up. Timmins back in possession with 15 seconds to go in the power play. Comes back to Bouchard at the point. Gives it to Shin, but it hopped over his stick. He settled it down and back to Bouchard. Right back to Maxfeld. Shin, a shot. Stop. Loose puck in front as McGuire couldn't handle it. And then it cleared off the boards and down the ice. And McGuire got bailed out by his teammates there. Here comes Etheridge on the attack. Etheridge to the net. Powered his way to goal, but he couldn't get the shot off. And behind the net, it was tied up with the official as Mason couldn't get away. And played out by Christian. Thunderbirds go in on the attack. Again, the power play got some stuff going, but can they build off that momentum? And the Rock now trapped in their own zone. Paradiso gets rid of it. It was off the skate of Power, so there was going to be no icing, but Power took a reverse hit from Jones McDonald, who spins away from a check, got as far as the blue line, knocked away by Beard, but right to Bondi. Ryan Power will send it into the corner. Brady Real turned it over. Power on goal, and McGuire will just deflect that into the corner. And behind the net, Real trying to chase it down. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Another opportunity. Banked it off the boards, and it got to Jones McDonald. At center ice, Etheridge will skate it back the other way. Etheridge on the attack. He's knocked off the puck, trailing. Sears shot, tip. Rebound at the side of the net. They can't put it on goal, and Sear is back out at center. One and done once again for the Timmins Rock. 12:40 to go here in the third. Timmins trailing by 2. The Thunderbirds looking to take a 2-1 series lead. Here comes MacArthur. You wonder if this line's going to start getting double shifted as MacArthur and Hamlin out there. Armitage is with them, and he scores! Armitage left all alone in front of the net. And it's a 1-goal game.
Well, just a defensive breakdown there by the Thunderbirds. And again, Armitage getting that goal, beating McGuire. And again, Timmins back into this hockey game here. Still lots of time left.
We're going to have ourselves quite a finish here. Lauren's pass was off the leg, and just like that, a game that has been controlled by the Thunderbirds, suddenly now there's a little doubt that creeps in.
Well, again, lots of game left to play here for the Thunderbirds, and you got to keep pushing, keep it in the offensive zone, try to get another goal.
Owen Murphy on the draw for the home side. Lost that to Lucas Lowe, and right back out MacArthur with Hamlin and Lowe. Murphy will bring it in. We'll put it into the corner. Landon Hill after it. Comes to Murphy in the circle. Murphy's checked by Lowe. Hill over to help out. Dug free, kept in by Turnbull. Hill going after it, and Bouchard will skate away. Lucas Lowe up the middle of the ice. He was looking for Hamlin. And say no icing, but there's also no penalty. And here it comes to Landon Hill. He's got a little space. He'll skate it over the blue line and send it into the corner, and a wholesale line change for the Thunderbirds with 4:25 to go here in the third period. 1-goal hockey game. As it comes up the boards and out. Pass across the ice for Hamlin. And this line of Lowe, MacArthur, and Hamlin have stayed out there a long time. It comes for Lowe. A penalty coming up to the Thunderbirds. Lowe's got out the side net. Back in for MacArthur. Oh, he tried to bank it in off McGuire, and that nearly worked. As the Thunderbirds take yet another penalty. And the Timmins power play goes back to work. And Timmins power play didn't score last time, but it built some momentum.
Well, again, you just can't be doing that if you're the Thunderbirds right now. Again, you're just giving Timmins these opportunities to get back in the game.
Hamlin will stay out there. He's with Paddock and Beard. Sear and MacArthur also stayed out there, and Paddock got kicked out of the faceoff, so MacArthur will take it. Sear will keep it in at the blue line as Gosselin failed to clear the zone. Across it goes for MacArthur. MacArthur's side of the net tipped on goal. It's kept out by McGuire as Cousineau way out of his net to play it. He'll just skate it back behind his net. Sear will move it to Beard. And now Hamlin's got MacArthur in stride off his stick, and he and Reel go after it. Comes free to Beard. Back to the point to Sear. Braden Sear open the scoring. Now over to Hamlin. Across for MacArthur. Shot. He ripped it over top of the net. He had McGuire down and out. Paddock. Over to Hamlin. Now back to Sear. Sear walks in. Over to Hamlin. Hamlin takes a drive, and that one ripped just wide. Reel a chance to clear. Goes off the glass and down the ice. Cousineau way out of his net. Trying to catch the Thunderbirds on a change. Got it up to MacArthur, who has no choice but to play it in behind the net. Now Shin, fresh out onto the ice, ties it up along the boards. Comes free to Caddick. MacArthur open in front of the net. Caddick couldn't get it to him, and now shorthanded. Pisnichny goes on the attack. Pisnichny into the circle, shot. And Cousineau makes the save as the Thunderbirds haven't put much rubber on the Timmins netminder here in the third. A turnover, though, by the Rock, and Pisnichny throws it in front. Intercepted by Bouchard. Half a minute to go in the power play. Pass across for Mason. Nolan Mason lost it to Gosselin. And Gosselin a chance to clear. Can't get it. Kept in by Paradiso. Paradiso into the circle. Puts it into the front of the net. Mason now back to Paradiso. Paradiso looking. Gets it to Bouchard. Back to Paradiso. Shot. And that one over top of the net. Max Feld Shin with it. Cross ice speed for Paradiso was just in behind him. Back to even strength as Lowe has it behind the net. Drop pass for Mason. Mason back towards Shin, and Shin fights it and gets it, but his pass was intercepted, and out goes Pisnichny. Adam Pisnichny over the blue line. Drop for Atkinson. Atkinson in front. Tip. Stopped by Cousineau as Christian was all tangled up with a couple of Timmins players. Back the other way comes Lowe as play opens up a little bit. Lowe got as far as the blue line, then had it poked away. He chased it back down. Then he's knocked to the ice as Brady Reel will skate it over center. And Reel will put it into the corner and skate after it. Atkinson in on the forecheck. Along the boards, and Bondi will keep it in. Down low for Legler. Clemenhaga. Power. Chipped ahead and skated onto by Armitage, who got the second Timmins goal. Armitage trying to skate away from a check. In behind the net. It ends up on the stick of Power. Back to the point. It comes across with a captain. Sear deflected on the way to goal. And went up and out of play. We'll get an immediate timeout with 7:52 to go here in the third period. 3-2 hockey game. Thunderbirds leading.
All right, it's been fun to watch as both teams here giving it their all. 3-2 the Sioux Eagles over the Powassan Voodoos. 13 minutes to go in that hockey game. 6-3 the Greater Sudbury Cubs over the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners in the third period. And 3-1 after 40 minutes. The Hearst Lumberjacks have the lead over the Espanola Paper Kings.
Jacob Peterson has his fourth goal of the series to give the Sioux Eagles the lead over Powassan. Armitage and Sear, the goal scorers for Timmins in this hockey game. Atkinson, Murphy, and Kaloran for the Thunderbirds. And each goal scorer for the Thunderbirds was their first of the playoffs. Armitage and Atkinson on the faceoff to the right of McGuire. It's a little scrum. Comes free and back to Sears. Shot deflected and steered aside by McGuire. Back to the point. Long shot. Took a deflection and went way wide of the net. Etheridge will put it back in behind the goal as Beard gives chase. Armitage has it. Armitage had Etheridge in front but couldn't get the puck to him. At the blue line, it's kept in only momentarily as the Thunderbirds will clear and a pass across for Legler. Legler, middle of the rink, had Jones McDonald, but it was knocked off his stick on a good back check by Kevion. Beard ahead, and he got it to Etheridge, who dumped it in. Armitage will give chase, and the rest of the line is changing. Here goes Gallivan down the ice. Gallivan met by Sear, and he put it into the corner. It's Kaloran after it. Kaloran was all tangled up as we are now under 7 minutes to go. Knocked down by Pisnichi. Takes the shot. He rang it off the post. Rebound. Blocker saved by Cousineau. Picked up by Christian. Threw it in front. Took a deflection, and Cousineau kept that out. Oh, the Thunderbirds were so close to restoring the 2-goal lead. Now it goes in wide of the net. Dangerous play by Christian as he knocked Lowe to the ice, and Lowe went crashing into the goal, and now those two will have some words.
Oh, it's again a great shot by Pisnichi. Beat Cousineau, but couldn't beat the post. And Thunderbird bench wants to face off outside as Lowe was the one that took the net off.
I think the official is going to say that Christian pushed him into it, so not an explanation that the Thunderbird coaching staff was happy with. 6:25 to go here in this hockey game. Bouchard to the net. Now Clement Haga will put it in behind the goal. Caddick, a little back pass for Shin. Shin along the boards. Pisnichi can get a stick on it. Clement Haga across the ice. Bouchard got it into the corner. In behind the net for Shin. Shin trying to skate away from Bondi. Those two are all tangled up. Caddick back pass in front. Great chance. Paradiso put it just wide. Bouchard to the net. That was wide. He was maybe looking for a deflection. Caddick got it free. It was tied up on the back of the goal, and the referee blew the play dead.
And that came off again. Boy, Timmins starting to put the pressure on the Thunderbird defense. Again, quick exits out of the zone. Puck management vital here for the Thunderbirds.
Face-off won by Timmins, who has done a really good job in the face-off circle here in the third, and Mason prevented the clearing attempt. Comes to Armitage. Armitage just shot in a glove save by McGuire. Thunderbirds looking a little nervous right now. They've failed to clear the zone a few times here.
Well, again, there, you don't backhand it out if you're Bombi. You got to get it on the forehand and down the ice.
Arnold wins that draw, but first one on it is Beard. Around the boards. Kevion. Galvin says, I'll do it myself, and he puts it up for Bonvie, who chipped it into the Timmins zone. Kevion behind his net had a couple Thunderbirds on him. And an outlet feed for Mason missed, and great speed there by Real to get the icing called. A little pushing and shoving after that whistle as Mason and Bonvie join with one another.
All right, again, you don't want to give the referee any opportunity to call a penalty here for either team.
Thunderbird coaching staff mad that only Bonvie got a word from the official. Clock didn't start right away, but this doesn't really matter. Another icing call. 5:04 to go. Timmins has found their legs here in the third period. A much better period, even strength by the Rock, and we are in for quite a finish in this one. Turnbull in on the faceoff. Armitage still out there. Won by Turnbull. Hill couldn't get the shot off. Mastriani will walk in with it. Took a whack from Mason, stayed on it. Centering pass in front, just in behind Hill. And then Real fell to the ice, and here's a chance for Armitage, but a great back check by Murphy. Puck comes free for Beard. Goes across the ice to Sear. Crowd in front shot. McGuire the save. And there's no rebound to be had.
Boy, Real's going to go over to Murphy and give him a little tap because, again, he got caught there, but great presence of mind by Murphy, reading the play and going hard to get on the back check.
Sear's shot was just a little late. There was a momentary crowd in front, but by the time he let the shot go, McGuire saw it the whole way. Off the face-off, Clement Haga. He'll just play it into the corner. Top line out for the Rock. It's Lucas Lowe. Back into the corner. Kaloran up the boards for Christian. Couldn't get it out. Now back in behind the net. Gosselin gives chase. He's watched by Hamlin. Hamlin ties him up. Lucas Lowe takes a hit from Kaloran. Bondi trying to dig it free, and it comes to Bondi. He's got a chance, and he'll put it off the glass. It took a favorable bounce for Timmins. Didn't go all the way down the ice. Now a little alley-oop to center was knocked down, but right back to Bondi it goes. He'll send it in. Under 4 minutes to go in this hockey game. Timmins trailing by a goal. A touch pass from MacArthur didn't connect. And back for Clement Haga. Hamlin up ahead. Doesn't reach MacArthur, and Legler finds Atkinson streaking in. Shot was blocked. Hamlin the other way. Timmins can't escape their zone. Now up the middle of the rink. Real and Hamlin skating after it. Real with the hit. Puck came free and into the possession of the Thunderbirds. Out goes Devin Jones-McDonald for Atkinson. Bit of a weak drop pass, but the Thunderbirds will keep it in the offensive zone, and it's Atkinson with it. Jones-McDonald now. He'll put it into the corner. Under 3 minutes to go in this game. That's Gallivan at center ice. Nearly too many men on the ice for Timmins. Thunderbird bench thought there was. The whistle was not blown, and here goes Shin. Maxfeld Shin around Turnbull. Shin still with it. Nice. Met by another Thunderbird. That was Murphy as the puck comes behind the net to Mastriani. Dangerous pass in front of his goal, but he got it to Murphy, and Turnbull will pass it up to Hill. Landon Hill, shot on goal, and Cousineau makes the save, and he's forced to hold on with 2.5 minutes to go here in the third period.
Well, there's some good action here for the two teams here. As again, for the Thunderbirds, you got to be careful getting this puck out.
Sear, the captain, down the ice. Mastriani fell. Shin's going to win the race as he got there before Gosselin put it in front. Paradiso couldn't get a stick on it, and McGuire is able to cover it up.
Boy, a couple times I think the heart stopped on the coaching staff there again for the Thunderbirds defense. Again, just getting caught, and again, you got to be careful now. You don't need to be going as the extra guy if you're the defense. As Cousineau getting ready to come to the bench.
Face-off won by the Thunderbirds, up the boards, and Murphy will get it down into the Timmins zone. Quickly back to get it is Bouchard. Bondi. Gallivan ahead, and we're under 2 to play here in the third. A 1-goal hockey game here in game 3. Killorn, Christian! Oh, somehow that stayed out as Cousineau knocked it just over top of the net. Pass across for Bouchard. Killorn couldn't get a stick on it. Now he's got it. He finds Christian, who chips it in, and he'll give chase. Christian into the corner, met by Bouchard as they both go down to the ice. 90 seconds remaining in this hockey game. Keep an eye on Cousineau. He's looking to the bench. Still in the net. Bad line change by Timmins. It took them a while to get their players on the ice. Legler gets it in the offensive zone. You got to imagine Cousineau's heading to the bench here. MacArthur into the attack. MacArthur got it back, but then he was knocked off the puck. Cousineau's on the bench. Banked off the boards and into the Timmins zone. Shin slowed it down. Last minute of play. Turned over to Legler. Here's a chance to ice it, but a great save by Kevion. Now another chance, and that was blocked. Oh my goodness, here comes Shin. Maxfield Shin to MacArthur. MacArthur to the net. That pass was blocked. MacArthur right back on it. Him behind the goal. MacArthur to Shin. 35 seconds to go in this hockey game. Shin back behind the net. MacArthur's got it. Little back pass was knocked down. MacArthur got it right back. To the point it comes. Kevion to Sear. Middle of the rink. Back in front for MacArthur. Great save by McGuire. To the boards, not out. Kevion's got MacArthur open back door. Takes a shot instead off the outside of the net. Centering pass in front. That pass was blocked. Kevion back on it. MacArthur in front into the feet of Armitage. Can't get the shot off. 7 seconds left in this hockey game. Sear to the net. That shot was blocked and into the corner. Quick shot from a sharp angle. That's blocked. Another chance off the outside of the net. And the Thunderbirds will hold on for a 3-2 victory here in game 3.
Hold on is the perfect 2-word phrase. Again, couple opportunities to get that puck out. Can't do it. And Thunderbirds get their second win of the series.
Little pushing and shoving after the final buzzer went. We talked before this series started that we anticipated it was going to be the best series. The first game goes to overtime. I think the second game was an aberration. This was more what we expected. A 3-2 hockey game. Timmins turned it on in the third period, and I think for the Thunderbirds, you're going to come into tomorrow. It's going to be a quick turnaround, and you're going to have to say, what did we do right in the first 40 minutes? Because they dominated this hockey game, but Timmins certainly, even though they lost this game, probably picked up some momentum with the way they played in the third.
Well, they've turned it on, and again, Coach Perry, that's what you want for 60 minutes, not 20. You're not going to win too many playoff games playing only 20 minutes. You got to play like that for 60. And for the Thunderbirds, again, they held on for dear life at the end. You got to clean that up in the next game here tomorrow night.
I think my voice was hanging on for dear life as well. Hopefully, it's back for tomorrow's game 4. We'll be right back on the air. 7 p.m. puck drop right here from the John Rhodes Community Center. Again, Thunderbirds winning tonight by a score of 3-2, and they take a 2-1 series lead. For Dominic Turco, I'm Anthony Vlad. Thank you all for tuning in. This is NOJHL Playoff Hockey on FlowHockey.com.